Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to make up their minds. I am your host, Jack, with JustJack.com. Today's topic of discussion is releasing those things that do not serve us. We titled this Just Drop It Off because it's so simple. Just drop it off. We wanted to label it. We wanted to title it, Let That Shit Go. But with all these things, people are so judgmental by the words that you use. So we just drop it off. When I think of things that I have to release from my life, they always come. Things are always coming into my consciousness to make me realize, hey girl, wait a minute. Did you know that you were carrying that with you? And I'll look over my shoulder into my bag of things that I have picked up along the way. And I'll say, I didn't know I carried that with me for so long. How long have I had that? Well, you've had this since you were 10, Jack. What? That big old thing? That has to be at least 50 pounds of my piece. No, I'm not carrying that with me, am I? And then I'll, examine it. And it's this big, maybe it's a trauma, or maybe it's something that happened to me, something someone said, some smart thing someone said, some wise crack someone got in with me, And I'll have to evaluate it and look at it, feel it, and see it for what it really is, something that I've created, ultimately. We've talked about that before, how everything that we are seeing in this world, we are just creating it within our own mind. And what we think in our mind, it comes to pass in physical form, does it not? Does it not? Somebody was recently asking me about the law of attraction. And they said, Jack, what would you tell someone who has never heard about the law of attraction and they don't know what the law of attraction is? And I said, how you act, that's how it's going to be. What you think, that's how it's going to be. What you think, you create. What you give, it comes back to you. I would even go dare to say, what you give, you get to keep. That's what I was taught by one of my teachers. What you give, you get to keep. Think about that. You give love, you get to keep love. You give anger, frustration, animosity. Guess what? It's all yours, boo. All yours. You get to keep it. You get to keep it with you. And sometimes these things that we do when we are 10 years old, they come back up to bite us in the butt. Or we just keep it with us. When do we come to the point where we say, okay, this is where I'm going to drop this off? Anything that does not serve us in our thought process, in our mind, in our mindset, in our heart. The heart and the mind work so well together, but if the heart is broken, nothing moves slower than a slow healing heart dying to mend. Nothing moves slower. And we have all been through this before. All of us have had heartbreak. The heart is the first functioning organ in our body. So quite frankly, all of you guys are here. That heart knows a lot more about you than you even know about yourself, honestly, because we have forgotten about ourselves because of that heart being broken. And thank God for that heart being broken too, because when that heart gets broken, we learn more about ourselves than we ever would have known. And we learn more about the love that we possess within our heart, you see. But sometimes it's tricky because, like I said, those traumas or those things come into our lives at 10 years old, 9 years old, 7 years old, whenever they happen, 15 years old. Shit, I just had one happen the other day. I'm 29. Just kidding. Traumatic experience, but stuff that I have carried with me nonetheless, or stuff that I choose to carry with me nonetheless, or some stuff that I subconsciously carry with me nonetheless. When do I say it's okay for you to leave now? It's okay for me to drop you off right here because that's all you're doing. You're just dropping it off. You're not, saying, oh, forgive and forget, bless and release. You can say whatever you want to say, but drop it off. Drop it off and keep going. Don't look back. Because once you drop it off, you say, I'm releasing this from me now, right now, in this very moment, wherever I am, in this time, space, reality, I choose this moment in time to drop it off. You don't have to thank it. You don't have nothing. You just drop it off. Like, when you drop the stuff off at the Salvation Army, you don't ever think about those clothes ever again. They never pass your mind, those clothes. Those things that you dropped off at the goody-goody, they never crossed your mind. You put them in a box, you dropped them off, and you got back in your car and you went. You had it driving in your trunk for the past 2 weeks because you had good intentions to take all those clothes and those old things that do not fit you or serve you anymore. You had great intentions to take them to the Salvation Army and take them to the goody-goody. But what happened? Time got away from you. Your day got ahead of you, and the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So, of course, they stayed in your trunk for the past, 2 years. Just kidding. If you're anything like me, they've been in your trunk for a long time, and you just dropped them off. But that's how I've always been. So, you drop them off, and you never think about them again. You throw it as far as the east is from the west. Sometimes these things that we need to drop off they come in the form of people, relationships, friendships. It does not mean that we are separating ourselves or dividing ourselves from anybody else. It just means, listen, I have a vision that's going to take me over there. But right now, you're right here, and I'm just going to drop you off right here. Don't worry. Maybe I'll come back for you. Maybe. If the stars align up and I come back, maybe I'll come back. Maybe you'll end up joining me somewhere down along the lines. I don't know. But for right now, I'm about to drop you a little behind off right here. Okay? I love you. Bye, Felicia. I always think of my aunt Gia, very spiritual woman. And whenever I am in that space of any space, to be honest with you, what I'm trying to say is she always calls at the right time. All right? My phone will ring, and I'll laugh because that's truth. You understand truth. You know this is a sign from the universe. This is a sign. This is a call from the most highest God himself speaking through my Aunt Gia. And I tell her, I say, girl, you always know when to call. You always know when to call. You always call me at the right time. She said, yeah, I'll pick you up on the side of the road. And I started laughing. And I said, what does that mean? She said, wherever you are, whatever you're going through, God himself said she said the Holy Spirit, but the divine powers of this universe work through other people to come pick you up. And sometimes the divine powers are trying to get your attention. And they'll say things like, hey, you should go message Jack. Hey, you should go message this person. Hey, you've been wanting to do this. You should go do this. And what do? We say, no, much too busy. Put the call on hold. Call back later. Please leave a message after the tone. But not my Aunt Gia. When the divine calls her and says, pick up the phone and call Jack, she picks up the phone and she calls me. And she said, and now I'll continue to pick up the phone and call you because I'm not going to give up on you, little boy. And she says, I will pick you up wherever you are. I will pick you up on the side of the road and you can bring your weed too. And we start laughing because it doesn't matter what kind of baggage I come with. She's going to pick me up. What kind of baggage are you hanging on to? Because sometimes when she calls me up, I'm walking down the middle of the street, in my mind. Sometimes we could be in the most funnest place, the most loudest room with the most funnest things happening around us and still be terrible feeling inside. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter who you're kicking it with. It doesn't even matter what you're doing. When you're hanging on to something inside and you're hanging on to that baggage, things aren't going to be right. You've got to you've got to learn to drop it off. And so I will be at home most of the time when she calls me, kind of having my own special conversation with my God, and she will call. So I will realize, whoa, there's things I'm hanging on to. I got some baggage. Yeah, you're going to come pick me up, Aunt G, on the side of the road, but I got lots of baggage, and I don't think I want to take all this baggage with me for our car ride, because I know our car ride is we're going to go on a spiritual high. She talks about the weed. She makes fun of, she doesn't make fun of me. It's just a funny joke, because she says, you want to vote for Prop 19, which is the legalization of marijuana. And she says, I'll pick you up with your weed too, but sometimes, all times actually, 100% of the time, my weed is not needed for this car ride where I'm about to go. Now, I love me some weed. Anybody will tell you that. There's three things I love in this world, and I still don't understand why. Weed, booze, and men. I don't understand why I like any of them. My friend Austin Renee, she posted a funny, status. She says, the fact that I still like men should be what did she say? The fact that I still like men should be proof that sexuality is, you cannot, what did it say? The fact that I still like men should be proof that sexuality is not a choice. There you are. Go ahead and spit it out, girl. Come on. But anywho, it's not needed, because where I'm going, I don't need all that stuff. I like it. I love me some booze and some pert and some men. Child, don't get me wrong. But it's kind of like a bonus. It's kind of like an ice cream at the end of the day. It's a bonus, It's not needed for the fulfillment of my heart desire. None of it's needed for the fulfillment of my heart's desire. None of this baggage that I think I need to take with me down the road is needed for the fulfillment of my heart's desire, because I already have everything that I need within, and even then some. That's why that even then some, I got to let stuff go. You got to stay. You are not needed for the fulfillment of my heart's desire, this drug, this addiction, whatever it is. And when I say drug, I'm not just talking about pills and bottles and needles. No, I'm talking about those things that hold you captive, that keep you from living your highest, most purest, most truest self. Because I've seen people on drugs who are living their most highest, more purest self and their fullest capacity. I've seen people on drugs. I've been on drugs doing that. And when I say drugs, then I mean that spiritual high. That's a drug. Dorian Corey even calls drag a drug. It's a fame. You get a little tiny bit of adulation, a little bit of tiny bit of applause, and all of a sudden you're addicted, like Jasmine Narcotics, the homegirl Jasmine Narcotics. She says, be careful, because one taste of the Jasmine Narcotics and you're going to be addicted, child. What are you addicted to? Because your life, your future can be predicted by what or who you let take control of it. And addiction, it does take control of your life. You ask any of my ex-husbands. Okay, time to stop being so serious, JustJack.com. What I'm here to say is, now is a perfect time to drop it off. If it don't serve you, why bring it along the road? I think of when the slaves were fleeing Egypt to the promised land. They left Egypt to the promised land, and Moses was leading them, remember. And it says that the story goes to say on that 40 years, and they're searching and searching, these slaves, searching and searching and searching for the promised land. It says that Moses never went into the promised land. And I think it's so symbolic to understand and to learn. And Moses can teach us, you cannot go into the new promised land with an old mindset, an old mentality, an old way of doing things. That was then, this is now. All those years you tried, maybe it didn't work for you. Drop it off. Because that was then, this is now. How do you expect to go into the new promised land, this thing that which you are creating day by day? We're all creating our own promised land, right? What you going to do? Spend the next 40 years searching and seeking for something that already lays dormant within you, darling. Come on. No. 2019, we are in a new age. It's the dawn of a new day. A new day is here. And it's today. Every day is our new day. What can we do? What can I do during Christmas time? We had Christmas recently. I'm going to let you guys go with this. Make sure you guys get on our newsletter. Are we still recording? Make sure you guys get on our newsletter at justjack.com. But recently, we celebrated Christmas, and my family gets together to celebrate. And I noticed that many different people get together to celebrate this birth of this Christ. And what I was looking for, I have big ears, so I was on the search for who was talking about this Christ fellow. And not very many people did, which I thought was interesting. But anywho, I went home that night, and in my meditation, I had my own conversation, and I said, when I thought it was so wonderful to remember that every soul that ever has been, ever will be, was in the manger the night the Christ was born. Or so they say. I don't remember if it was a Course in Miracles or if it was, I think Marianne Williamson gave a talk about it, actually, now that I'm saying it like that, because I think she said the same thing, or it was a Seth book. I don't know. But anywho, every soul was there the night the Christ was born, in that manger, the night the Christ was born. And anybody who knows me knows that I celebrate life every day. I give gifts every day. I receive gifts every day. Every day is Christmas for me at justjack.com. Every day, because that's what I do for my service. And so my prayer, not only for myself, but for all of you guys this year, is that you guys will drop your stuff off. Leave it all at the door. Some people say, leave it at the altar. Leave it at the cross. Leave it wherever you want. Some would say, empty your rice bowl and bring an empty rice bowl to God. That way, that divine power, that essence can create through you on a daily basis. And my prayer every morning is, come, hover over me. I think Marianne Williamson teaches us to. Let me feel the power that enters the place in which you already abide. Here I am. Send me. Send me. Let me go where you want me to go. Let me do what you want me to do. And let me say what I am meant to say. So, lots of love to all of you guys. If you're not part of our group, Court of Miracles, come in there. We have a 10-day daily method of operation that we've been doing. And it's been fun teaching different concepts and learning different skill sets and really releasing things. releasing the old skills and habits, they are acquired. So you release old thought patterns, release old habits that do not serve you, and you acquire new, healthy, happy habits that are going to get you on the road to, well, the road to where you really want to go anyways. So I'll talk to you guys later. See you on the flip side. Lots of love. Bye, Felicia. Welcome, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and those who have yet to make up their minds. I am your host, Jack, with JustJack.com. Today's topic of discussion is releasing those things that do not serve us. We titled this Just Drop It Off because it's so simple. Just drop it off. We wanted to label it. We wanted to title it, Let That Shit Go. But with all these things, people are so judgmental by the words that you use. So we just drop it off. When I think of things that I have to release from my life, they always come. Things are always coming into my consciousness to make me realize, hey girl, wait a minute. Did you know that you were carrying that with you? And I'll look over my shoulder into my bag of things that I have picked up along the way. And I'll say, I didn't know I carried that with me for so long. How long have I had that? Well, you've had this since you were 10, Jack. What? That big old thing? That has to be at least 50 pounds of my piece. No, I'm not carrying that with me, am I? And then I'll, examine it. And it's this big, maybe it's a trauma, or maybe it's something that happened to me, something someone said, some smart thing someone said, some wise crack someone got in with me, And I'll have to evaluate it and look at it, feel it, and see it for what it really is, something that I've created, ultimately. We've talked about that before, how we are everything that we are seeing in this world. We are